On this episode of He Said, She Said Movie Reviews, we take a look at the movie The Farewell, written and directed by Lulu Wang. Welcome to He Said, She Said Movie Reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick, spoiler-free look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
So we went and saw the movie The Farewell. April gives this movie 3.5 stars, and I give it 2.5. We'll tell you all about it right after these two trailers.
The first trailer we saw is called After the Wedding. I really want to see this movie. It's about a manager of an orphanage in Africa. She travels to New York to meet a huge benefactor. The release date is August 9th, 2019. It's with Michelle Williams, Julianne Moore, and Billy Crudup, who is not one of my favorite actors, by the way. Billy, that is. The two starring women. This looks very mysterious and good.
Yeah, it looks like a really good kind of a thriller movie, so I can't wait to see it. The second trailer is for the movie The Current War. This is the dramatic story of the cutthroat race between electricity titans Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse to determine whose electrical system would power the modern world. I know that sounds kind of boring, but the trailer makes this movie look really good. I can't wait to see it. It stars Michael Shannon, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Katherine Waterston, and this comes out in October of 2019.
All righty. The storyline for The Farewell, it's basically about a Chinese family that discovers their grandmother has only a short while left to live. And it describes the fact that they try to keep her in the dark, scheduling a wedding to gather before she dies. The director is Lulu Wang. She's known for posthumous. Again, she did the writing. Also, as I already mentioned, what she's known for, posthumous.
All right, this has a cast of Awkwafina, Zai Ma, Diane Lin, Shuzhen Zhao, and Han Chen.
The runtime is 100 minutes. It's rated PG for just theme material, I would say, brief language and some smoking.
All right, so I guess since I gave it the low score, I have to defend my 2.5 stars.
Yes, you do, because I'm interested in this.
To me, well, first of all, the pace of this movie, I was bored out of my mind. Molasses pours faster than this movie went.
Disagree.
I thought the characters were very shallow. There was nothing to the characters. You got no backstory to any character in here. Matter of fact, Awkwafina, the star of the movie, who plays the character of Billy, she's the protagonist in this movie. There's no change in her story arc. From the start of the movie to the end of the movie, she's the same person. There's no growth, either negative or positive. Matter of fact, you could take her out of the movie and you'd still have the same movie.
Okay, well, I completely disagree with this. I don't know what movie you were sitting in, but
The Farewell.
Okay, here's that's ridiculous. But anyway, the theme and tone of the movie is lying is okay. Sometimes I want to say that this movie is about a family. It's a lot about, as much about love as it is about crisis. When you have a matriarch that is dying in a family, there's going to be a lot going on at all times. I think that it was very real. I learned a lot too about the differences between West and East. I learned a lot about their culture throughout this movie that I enjoyed. Yes, it was subtitled, and yes, you might have thought it was slow, but I think you might not have read all of it.
No, I read it as much as I could because sometimes the subtitles flash by so fast that you couldn't read it all.
Okay. Well, I did. I did read it all.
Oh, good for you. You're a faster reader than me. I know that as a fact.
Yeah.
I will say, as far as the acting is, Shuzhen Zhao, who played Nene, she was awesome. I'd love her to be my Nene.
Yes.
So
she is the cutest thing with a lot of energy, and also too, she shared wisdom as the matriarch, and it's some wisdom that she shared that I know I walked out of that movie with, and I know I will share not just with my daughter, but with younger women in my family and in my life.
Okay.
So there you go.
There you go. So you thought the characters were deep? in this movie?
Okay, first of all, it's a very, very heavy subject. And yes, I did. You only have so much time in a movie with that many people in a family to be able to cover. I absolutely loved, the young woman in this. She's the one that loved her grandmother, I think, the most. And it's about how she's growing, about how she's seeing her life, her failures personally, as she didn't get something she really wanted. I don't want to give anything away, but it's about how she learned to cope with that. I think she learned a lot about how to love her family, Tim.
Yeah, but they gave us no background. I think what you're talking about when you say you don't want to give it away is the fellowship. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but now you've mentioned it.
But they don't give you any detail on that fellowship.
So I want to keep moving because this movie, folks, if you have anyone in your family that has been very ill, I would highly recommend that you see this movie. And I'll tell you why. You're going to have a different take on the love that it's going to take to get someone through an illness. You're also going to have a different take on maybe how everybody responds differently when someone is ill. But this family, I learned just flat out, I learned more about love. I loved how they loved each other. And it was just so many different personalities, characters. And it was very interesting. So I loved the ending. I have never loved an ending more, I don't think in the last decade, to a movie.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's
so what'd you think about the score, the cinematography, production design?
I know that you thought the score was kind of overbearing at times.
Oh, yeah.
I wish that had been done a little differently, I will admit. And I agree with you on the cinematography. It was too dark.
Well, it was dark and it was kind of grainy. I don't know what kind of camera they used or the aspects and all that other stuff, but the movie seemed dark and grainy to me, so. But maybe that was on purpose to try to show what China is like. So, because the whole movie, with the exception of the first 5 minutes in New York, the rest of the movie is set in China. So
right, and again, I would have liked to have seen more, of course. But I felt like the special effect. I mean, there was nothing, but I thought the production design was fine. They didn't film in a bunch of different places, and that's probably because they were focusing on the dialogue.
And what'd you think of the dialogue?
Me? I thought it was fine. I mean, there were a few places I might have wanted a little bit more and a few places I wanted a little less. But overall, I thought the movie worked. I really did.
Okay. Well, for me, I found it a bore fest. That's just me, though. I was not entertained in this movie, and that's my one thing. So I like to be entertained when I go to the movies.
And I do as well, but most importantly, I like to feel, and I like to walk away a better person than I walked in, number one. And number two, a movie that gets me thinking for days after and has made me a better person, I'm all for it. So that's why I gave it a 3.5. It's phenomenal. Go see it.
If you like molasses. All right. So April gives this, a 3.5, and I give it a 2.5. Or did you change to 4 by the end of the podcast?
No, I'm going to stick with a 3.5, and that's a very good rating for me.
All right. So there you go. And if you haven't already done so, the contest is getting close to being done. Please go out to hesaidshesAidmovies.com/contest, and you can find out how you could win a $100 movie gift certificate from us. Thanks a lot. We'll see you at the movies.
We'll see you at the movies. And if you're anywhere near Atlanta, Georgia, get to Sandy Springs, the Spring Cinema and Tap House, and come to the movies. We will see you there. There is no better place to go to the movies than the Springs. See you there.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.